Hello, Brita Wallace here, family and parent educator with Wallace Family Ministry. Thank you for tuning into my channel as we go on a journey of the Love Dare together and challenge each other to take these dares seriously and to make our marriages better. Also check out my other set of videos that I'm doing simultaneously for the Love Dare for parents as well. So you can get both studies for free with me, doing them together and really learning just how to love our spouses and our children the best that we can, and really committing to the challenges. So, and the dares. If you have not gotten your books yet, please go get them. There is so much good fruit in these books. You want to not take the Love Dare once. Sometimes we need to take it again or look back to see the progress that we've made and say, hey, like, I'm having a tough time right now, but remember when I decided to be thoughtful with my spouse? That's today's day 4, be thoughtful, right? When I decided to do that, this was the fruit that came out of it, and the response was good. It was fruitful, right? So sometimes we have to be reminded of those things, and I can look through these pages and see where the fruit has where it really has shown up, the work that I have put in, how that has been fruitful in my marriage and with my kids, and how we have to be intentional to practice these things, not just while we're doing the dare, but every single day. And are we going to not do it all the time and every moment? Of course, because we're human and we all fall short, but every single day that we have, every day that we're blessed enough to open our eyes is a day for a new beginning. It's a new start. It's a fresh start. We can use it as that, and we can just start over the next day, right? We can't be too hard on ourselves. We have to humble ourselves and give ourselves grace too. So let's jump into day 4. Love is thoughtful. And as always, I have some notes here with the key points that I really want you to take from the study, okay? So we are going to start with a verse like we always do. And even though, I just want to say this periodically, this is a Christian study. This is based off of biblical teachings. These concepts and the thoughts are good whether you, no matter what you believe. So whether you're a Christian or not, you can take these. Love is thoughtful, right? Love is thoughtful. Love is not selfish. Love is kind. These concepts, and there's a lot of fruit here. If you don't have a Christian faith, that's fine. You can take, I'm going to teach it the way that it's meant. I do have a faith, but I just want you to know that this is a welcome space for anybody to join. And we really, at Wallace Family Ministry, the goal is to teach people how to love their families well, and to thrive together as a family. And that doesn't matter, what you believe. I want you to come as you are, and I want you to be able to get the same thing out of our studies together. This is a safe place. There's no judgment. We don't even have to talk about those things. We can if you like to, but this is specifically to introduce my ministry. I just thought the best thing would be to really teach people what it means to love their families appropriately, so their spouses and their children, and what that actually means, what that looks like, because love is an action, right? And we have to take action in love. It's not just I love you. It's more than words. It's more than just a phrase that we say. It's actions that we take, and we're intentional to take every single day. So we want to make sure that we are being intentional when we love the people in our lives and in our families, and really learning how to love them well, and just to start with a base of and a foundation of what that truly means, what that truly looks like, and to be able to come to a place where our hearts are open to the members of our family and to just learn something new, because there's room for that for us all, right? Okay, so let's just hop right in. How precious also are your thoughts to me? How vast is the sum of them? If I should count them, they would outnumber the sand. Psalm 139, 17 and 18. Love thinks. And this is one of the points that I want you to get. It's not a mindless feeling that rides on waves of emotion and falls asleep mentally. It keeps busy in thought, knowing that loving thoughts precede loving actions, okay? So, when we first met our spouses, we were thoughtful all the time. We couldn't stop thinking about them. We just thought about them constantly. We wanted to do nice things for them. Oh, what can we do to impress them? I want to get dressed up and put on makeup and do my hair and do all of these things. I have to look my best, feel my best, just put on my best game face, right? And then we get married and things start to change. We don't have to try so hard anymore. And if we're not careful, then the sparks that were there before just kind of burn out sometimes, right? And that's the thing, is that we have to be careful for that not to happen, because it will just naturally if we're not intentional, right? So we want to be intentional. We want to plan dates with and for our spouses. We want to plan adventures that are just set for us, that we can be able to connect as a couple that doesn't involve our kids. It's really great to have family time, and I believe in doing that once a week with your family as a family. That's something my family and I do. It's usually Sundays. But there has to be time for our spouses to, as spouses, to connect. And that's not going and hanging out in a group of people. That's taking time where it's just the two of you, where you can connect on a deeper level, and really try not to talk about your kids, right? Because that's always something that, happens with families sometimes, is that our lives end up revolving around the kids sometimes. This one's got this going on, and this one's got this going on, and what do you think about this? And this one's starting to talk, and so talk about dreams, talk about plans, talk about things that you want to do together, that you are passionate about, that you are just there's so many other things that we could talk about, and sometimes it doesn't seem that way, but we need to be intentional to date our spouse. It's very, very important. So if your thinking does not mature enough to constantly include our spouses, then we will catch ourselves being surprised rather than being thoughtful. Okay, so we need to mature our thinking to always be inclusive of our spouse. And then after marriage, again, our thoughtfulness towards our spouse tends to cool. We focus on other things, and we unintentionally ignore the needs of our spouse in the meantime. And we want to make sure that we're being intentional not to do that, right? We want to make sure that we're being intentional to address the needs of our spouse, and that things aren't just always in a cooled off state, right? We want bonding and connection and intimacy, right? So thoughtlessness, hold on one second. If you don't learn to be thoughtful, you end up regretting missed opportunities to demonstrate love. Thoughtlessness is a silent enemy to a loving relationship. And sometimes this is something that men struggle with more than women, because women are naturally more relational, okay? Men start to get less thoughtful as time goes on. The authors who are men say in here that women, are more relational, and that tends to be true. We want to connect And men sometimes are just like, I want to fix a car or do this or that or, whatever it is. So, of course, as men, we have to be intentional as well, to love our spouses no matter what side and, the spectrum you may be on. Well, just because that's not a man's strong point doesn't mean there's not points in women's lives that we're not as strong at either, right? So that's not to say anything negative about men. That's just kind of naturally how women are. They're more relational. They tend to be more gentle, more caring, more empathetic sometimes. So, for a man, he has to actually listen to what is implied if he wants to get the full meaning. And men tend to say things that they mean, like straight out the get-go, right? It's not hidden messages where women tend to do that, right? So if a couple doesn't understand this about one another, the fallout can result in endless disagreements. He's frustrated, wondering why she speaks in riddles and doesn't just come out and say things. And she's frustrated, wondering why he's so inconsiderate and doesn't add two and two together and just figure her out. So a woman, deeply longs for her husband to be thoughtful. It is actually, it's a key to helping her feel loved, and that's true from a woman's perspective. From a woman's perspective, I can tell you that that's true. If, however, she always has to put the pieces together for him, it steals the opportunity for him to demonstrate that he loves her. Okay, so love requires thoughtfulness on both sides, the kind that builds bridges through the constructive, I cannot speak today, combination of patience, kindness, and selflessness. Love teaches you to meet in the middle, to respect and appreciate how your spouse uniquely thinks. Okay, so a husband should listen to his wife and learn to be considerate of her unspoken messages. A wife should learn how to communicate trustfully and not say one thing while meaning another. We should say what we need, or what we mean and what we need. But it's easy to become angry and frustrated instead, and then we follow the same destructive patterns, and you're literally running in circles and things aren't changing. So if we want a different result, we need to do something different, right? We can't keep doing the same exact thing. You speak harshly now and determine later if you should have said it. But the thoughtful nature of love teaches you to engage your mind before engaging your lips. Love thinks before speaking. It filters words through a grid of truth and kindness. Okay, so thoughtfulness is the key to helping our wives feel loved. Love thinks before speaking. Engage your mind before you engage your lips. This filters our words through a grid of truth and kindness, okay? So when was the last time you spent a few minutes thinking about how you could better understand and demonstrate love to your spouse? What immediate need can you meet for your spouse? What's the next event? Anniversary, birthday, holiday? You can be preparing for now. Great marriages come from great thinking, okay? So that is our study for the day. And now we're going to just jump right into our dare, which is contact your spouse, okay, sometime during the business of the day. Have no agenda other than asking how he or she is doing and if there's anything that you can do for them. So sometimes for some people, and there's many different reasons for this might be hard. It might be hard, and your spouse might even be like, that's kind of strange. I actually, as I was studying for this today, and I'm not currently taking the dare, I'm just studying and, doing the videos for the dare, and I'm going to jump into the dares with you guys. But I asked my husband this question today, and he didn't respond to me. So I just was like, man, this is a really good question, right? And he didn't respond. So sometimes they're not, they're going to be taken back. Well, she hasn't asked me that in a while, or, for whatever reason, maybe he read it quick and then he got busy. But I just use that as an example because sometimes our spouses are going to be taken back. Like, that's kind of strange. Why are they, asking me, what I could do for them, like what they could do for me, because that's not normal behavior for them, perhaps. I do ask my husband often how he's doing and if there's anything that I can do for him. And he usually does respond. But yeah, for some people, that's going to be hard. So just give yourself grace. Learn, let this be a teachable moment where you can really learn how to be intentional, how to be thoughtful to your spouse, and how to do something differently, something that is going to deliver sweet, sweet fruit, I promise. If you stick with these dares, if you do them, if you're not hard on yourself, if you just take it day by day, then you're going to see the fruit here, even if it takes you more than one dare, which and oftentimes it's going to, but you're going to see the fruit. It's going to be there. It's going to flourish, and your relationship is definitely going to be better for it, right? So I hope that you guys stick with the dares. Even if you get discouraged, let's talk about that, and let's encourage each other. So I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and share me with your friends if you think that somebody you know would benefit from this study for today on thoughtfulness, or for the whole entire Love Dare study, which we could all benefit for it if we're putting in if we're putting in the work necessary and we are truly practicing love in action. So I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Take care and God bless.